Before we get too into this, I would like to thank Shravanthiyag, and I really hope I didn't say his name wrong, for allowing me to use his footage in today's video. I recommend you checking out the original video, which I will post a link to so you too can experience the cuts that he made showing each and every sound that the T-Rex made throughout Jurassic Park and Lost World and such. So, number 5 on the list is something called the bellow. This sound isn't actually heard too often, and if memory serves, I think it was only used once in the Jurassic World trilogy so far, and that was in the first Jurassic World movie when they was luring out Rexy, for the show, the feeding show. Other than that, I am not too positive if the roar's ever been used since then. The most I've heard it used was in The Lost World. What I like about the roar is the booming echo it emits when the Rex does it. And as you can see, it is not like gender specific, as the buck, Rexy, doe, they all have done it and they all sound similar to each other. Unlike some of the roars that I will feature on here, this one isn't gender specific. And while the Rex most likely would not have made a sound like this in reality, it doesn't detract from the pure genius of its sound design, and I believe it's one that we all could appreciate in the long run. So now comes the roar that we're all familiar with, the main roar, if you will. I want to say it's probably the most vocal of the roars that the T-Rex will emit, and fourth on my list because we hear it so much. Now, I call it the uproar because it sounds like the T-Rex's expression of a protest or outrage. Mainly when you hear it, it's almost in where it's saying, do you dare? Do you realize where you're at, who you're dealing with? You dare stand against me, test yourself against me type deal. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the roar gets the job done. What I do like about this roar, though, even though it's the fourth on my list, is the different vocal pitches and tones between the males and the females of the Rex species. As you can see with the buck, as opposed to like Rexy or the doe, his version of the uproar is more deep and guttural in his tone, as if it's coming like from within his gut or his belly. And while it is loud, I don't think it is as loud as the calls that are emitted by Rexy or the doe. I feel like their versions of the uproar carries more distance, so like when they do it, it's heard by more animals and they know, okay, we're probably in the wrong territory type deal. If you get what I'm trying to say. All in all, while this roar is heard very often, I do appreciate the fact that they decided to try to throw a little sexual dimorphism into it, to add a little, I'm guessing, personality caricature or something of that nature. Whatever they attempted to do with it, I am glad that they did. Similar to number 5, we have what I like to call the snarls. I think what drew me to this particular vocalization is it's a sound you wouldn't necessarily expect the T-Rex to make, and on top of that, since T-Rex and dinosaurs in general didn't have voice boxes to actually roar and make vocalizations to what we imagined them to be, this is probably what might have been the closest thing to an actual sound that Rex can make, as it sounds more like air escaping its lungs or something of that matter. While I have not heard Rexy make this particular sound, it should be noted that the deeper version that you hear the Rex make, like the one it did before Roland shot at it, was only done by the buck, whereas the lighter one, the lighter snarl, was vocalized between the both. And while I don't think that this particular vocalization will return for Dominion, I do hope to see it in a future media like Jurassic World Evolution 2, for example, where I believe these particular sound effects will help bring the animal to life.
Oh, no, this is nothing like that. We're in a completely different situation right now. Your head being right all the time.
Okay, so for me, what has to be the most popular roar for the T-Rex? I mean, in my mind, when you think T-Rex and Jurassic Park, that roar is what usually comes to mind. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe pre-Jurassic World, this roar used to be everywhere. It was prevalent in games like Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, Warpath Jurassic Park, the Lost World version on PlayStation 1, and then the Jurassic World trilogy came, and it just seemed to change everything up and shift in tone and everything. Now, I'm not trying to say that they ruined it, because as the Fallen Kingdom clip shows, Rexy still got it. I'm just thinking maybe they changed it up to show her age or something like that, but you really don't hear it as much. And in games like Jurassic World Evolution, when the roar comes up, it's more kind of incomplete, if you can get what I'm saying. This roar is and always will be my favorite T-Rex roar, and I guess it's too late to say this now, but I'm gonna say it anyway, even though we're like 10 minutes into the video, that these roars are not in any particular order, not from like least to greatest or something like that. These are just my 5 favorite roars that I've ever heard come from the T-Rex. So I thought I'd just throw that out there just in case you were thinking that's what it was. But nah, this is just my favorite vocalizations. And you know what? Let's just continue to the piece de resistance, shall we?
No. Must go faster.
And last but not least is something I call the wail. Similar to the high-pitched version of the snarl, it's another sound you really don't expect to come from the T-Rex. But just like the snarl, it sounds like air escaping from its lungs rather than like a guttural roar or something of the sort. And honestly, I thought this was a sound only that Rexy herself made until I remembered this scene in Jurassic Park 3 right before the encounter with the Spinosaurus. Although, if I'm being totally honest, that isn't why I like the roar. The real reason why I like the roar is because it sounds like a cat. If a cat was a 7-ton monster or anything of the sort, that's what it would sound like, exactly like that. As always, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to check out the video. If you like, I'll do more of these type of things. I do have another one planned for like my top 5 Godzilla roars. It is not scheduled. It can come a few days from now, a few weeks from now, months. It's just whenever I feel like I can fit it in, because I do have a whole lot of other stuff going on. But just let me know if you would like to see more things like this, and it doesn't have to be dinosaur related. It could be to other sounds and other media. But as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You know I love to hear from y'all down below in the comment section. And as always, I'll be seeing you all later.